Hello, comrade.
Hello, welcome to Mother Russia. We have potato and vodka.
Okay, so
I am so glad you invite me to join your Communist International podcast. Together, we will spread the word of the motherland.
Hey, we never declared ourselves communism publicly yet.
Oh,
We
okay.
talked about it, but it was not
Okay.
announced yet, man. Spoiling shit, bruh. Come
Well,
on.
are we even
free
recording yet,
Rothenders
Ryan?
would be so disappointed.
Oh no, yeah, right. Once we start a call, this is it. Like these do not get edited. This is it.
Okay, I'm gonna introduce the podcast.
All right.
Welcome to official podcast 3 of Who Gives a Shit Really. Exactly. Alright, you got me,
This is
you got Dylan,
hello.
and you got
No,
Cass.
I'm Dylan. What?
This is officially Three Guys One Cup podcast,
Yeah.
and
This joke's been made.
We're no longer talking shit. We're eating it.
yes, and smearing all over each other's chests.
Oh,
Stop.
great.
Stop.
I
Stop.
never even saw that.
Well, neither
No,
have I.
I think people who talk about it the most are the ones who've actually never seen it.
Of course. Because the people that have actually seen it probably are watching it for some sick fetish reason and they don't want to admit to seeing it.
Or they saw it once and they just don't want to relive the horror.
Or
Yeah,
just
they have
don't really
PTSD.
care, 'cause it's too mundane. They've seen other horrible things on the internet.
That they spend most of their time on
You know the
4chan.
most horrific thing on the internet?
Our
Toy
podcast.
review channels.
Say that again?
Toy
I
review
said our
channels.
podcast.
God fucking damn it. For everybody that doesn't know, I'm Ryan's black friend that allows him to say racist things. So if he ever says something racist, he's got to pass everybody.
Yep.
Wait, you're black?
Hey, Ryan, am I black?
There's a part. You're like
I mean,
my-
your last
you're
name
like
is
my
Brown,
brother.
so I mean.
Oh, fuck off.
I mean, what? Was that racist? I don't know.
No, I'm kidding. I'm a fourth black, but I'm whiter than the fucking moon, so it doesn't really matter.
Have
You're
any-
not black if you have to go. I'm a fourth black.
Oh.
Hey man, I'm a quarterkin.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
I racially
what?
identify.
No,
I racially
wait.
identify as a quarterkin.
What's a quarterkin?
It's like if you
It's when
take
you
an
identify as
Oreo
a
and
actual
takes one of the
quarter,
crackers.
like a coin.
Yeah, I identify as being 50% copper and 5% nickel.
Uh,
Oh,
what's
hot.
the other, what's
So
the other
funny.
45%?
It's
Black.
Mr. Ryan.
It's all
Black.
Oh Jesus! Have any of you guys seen the new Resident
Yes.
Evil movie?
No. Oh,
No.
Ryan, no.
Oh,
I avoid
God.
that. I avoid that.
I think I think all the Resident Evil movies are bad, but I
Yeah,
like them.
but you like bad shit.
I do, and I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Some of the bad
Because you
shit.
hate yourself, probably. You
I
just
hate it.
you hate everything about yourself, so
Got
you
that-
torture yourself with bad
Got that
movies.
little bit of self-deprecating,
Self-loathing.
anything. Yeah,
I have a self-defecating sense of humor.
Self-defecating.
You just shit
That's
all
the
over
humor.
yourself.
Well, what do you think the podcast is called? Two shits talk shit about shit. Oh no, wait. So if like Cass is gonna be a permanent member, is it three shits talk shit about shit, or is it like what's the deal?
It's just
I'm
three
telling
shitty
you, it's-
assholes. That's what it's gonna be called.
No, I don't want asshole associated with our podcast.
But
I mean, you want shit though? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, shit's fine.
Shit's
Like,
fine.
We all shit, but like ain't nobody always looking at
Who
ass-
doesn't have an asshole?
My cousin Rick.
Oh, I feel bad for Rick.
it's weird.
There are
Where-
people
where
who
does
have
he poop
assholes
out
on their
of?
bellies. Like that's a thing. Where like
What?
they have to have a bag on their stomach because they
Oh,
poop out.
yeah.
You know your
Yeah,
butthole
so
can
those people
fall
don't
out?
have buttholes.
It's
So
called prolapsed
be
anus.
considerate, Cass.
Ryan, please stop talking about prolapse. Thank you.
Prolapse anuses.
You're gonna trigger me hardcore.
Oh
God.
yay, he gets the memes. Thank God. I thought he was gonna be like a serious person. Oh,
Oh,
No,
God.
no. I actually invented the word meme. Thank you.
I don't believe that for a second, but I mean, I'm gonna you do you, boo.
That's true.
Yay. Okay,
So-
so quick question: Who here
Mhm.
thinks Hitler didn't do? Who wasn't that bad of a guy? Raise your hand.
I mean,
Speaking of Hitler, I
oh hell yeah.
Look Who's Back this week
Oh, so did I. Oh my god.
on the recommendation of Cass.
Yeah, that faggot.
Dylan, have you seen Look Who's Back?
What? No, I have not.
Okay,
Do I want to?
it's a German
Woo!
film about
It's a spicy meme.
what if Hitler woke up today in Germany. It's pretty fantastic.
It's pretty good. Oh God, I it's funny. I like that film a lot. It's good, and the political message it's slinging in there is interesting. Like, what did you take on that, Ryan? It's obviously trying to do something political there,
Yeah,
but
I felt like it did a good job of looking at different viewpoints of like why would people agree with this person who seems kind of insane but has some valid
kind of,
points, and then why would people disagree with him? It's like,
yeah.
yeah, there's good and bad in there.
Well, I find it was good because it was
Obviously,
balanced.
yeah,
Well, in the
it balanced it pretty well. Yeah,
well, like all the people that were all like, "Oh, Hitler," I agree with him. Everything he's saying is smart. They were really represented as like uneducated idiots who were kind of like xenophobic.
yeah.
But then again, everybody that was like anti-Hitler, their only argument was because he's fucking Hitler. So they were both kind of shown as being idiots in an
Yeah,
aspect.
it's pretty great.
Everyone in Germany is an idiot ass bag. Have you not known this?
No, I've never been.
I have.
We have one German viewer. She's a Nazi. She knows the Germans are stupid.
Oh,
Here on the Communist International podcast, we are very anti-fascist. If you are a Nazi, please feel free to come to Mother Russia and join our slave labor.
yeah. Quit being
Hey,
quit
it's not
being a
slave
Nazi.
labor. We kind of pay them.
We don't pay them. That's what we have gulags
We
for.
give 'em-
Kind of. That's
we
kind
give
of
the
pay.
ones that we like food and shelter, kind of.
Hey, if we find her guilty of something, though, we can just send her to a prison. Slave labor. There we go.
Slave labor is the best labor. Am I right? What?
You are guilty of having a funny accent.
That's not fair. Everyone here has funny accents. You can't arrest me for that, you fucking commie bastard.
Oh,
That's
Jesus
true.
Christ.
God, but
If you
Ryan.
actually go to Russia, they'll make fun of you.
they do.
Like, if you try to go, I'm from America, they'll look at you like, why are you talking like that? And you'll be like, what?
Because everybody else is too.
And they'll be so offended. My friend went
Yeah.
there and he got beat up because he tried to like, talk in an accent. And the first thing they did was like they kicked out his suitcase. He goes, "That's not cool." And they started beating him up.
That's so Russian.
Oh,
That is so Russian. Did I mention he's Jewish? I don't know if that's
Russian.
important.
Oy vey.
You ever know Russian? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 level?
You mean the mission where you murdered all those innocent people?
Yeah. That was my
Like, you
favorite
could've-
mission.
You could have literally, like, when they all left the elevator, like, to go shoot him, he could have shot them all in the back and, like,
Yeah.
had been done with it.
I tried to do that one time, and it was like, all of them
You
just looked at me and just started shooting. I was like, oh.
No, because if you kill Makarov, it goes, "You failed to get close to Makarov." It's like, I know what happens.
I got close to him. I got close
What?
enough to shoot him.
Let me stop this horrible event, please.
Uh, I've actually never played a Call of Duty game.
Really? Not even
Yeah.
the first Modern Warfare?
This podcast is about roasting Cassius, who has never played a single Call of Duty game.
Wait, your
Begin,
name is
my friends.
Wait. Your
Cassius?
name's
More like
Cassius?
Cassius.
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 Yes, Cassius.
Clay.
Did your mom just hate you, or did your parents just like think this up as a form of punishment?
No, you think that it's a sort of it's one spicy meme upon birth, like Cassius Assius, but you'd be surprised on how many compliments I get on my name. I'm actually named after the Roman general Cassius Longitus, who planned the murder of Julius Caesar.
Longitis
Yay!
sounds like
I'm named after a guy who
STD.
planned a murder. I'm so cool.
Hey, Julius Caesar was a despot, dude.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a cunt.
I don't. Everyone's a cunt in this world.
Oh, okay, that's a bit nihilistic, but that's okay.
Yeah. I'm named after Bob Dylan. Apparently, he played music or something.
Oh, Bob Dylan was very anti-aggression, dude. You're nothing like him.
Yeah, I didn't say I was like Bob Dylan, jackass. I said I was named after Bob Dylan.
I was just letting you know.
No, I know. I'm not an aggressive person. Ask Ryan.
I'm not an aggressive person. Ryan,
Yeah.
how aggressive is our buddy Dylan on a scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, probably like 37.
Oh, fuck.
One time,
But
this guy, we were walking home, and he stepped on the back of my shoe, and like it pulled off my shoe. So I picked up my shoe and I threw it at his nose, and I gave him a nosebleed.
oh,
Have you
that's
guys
some
seen The
solid
Lobster?
marksmanship.
He was like in like third grade, so I mean, like it was okay.
Have
I
you,
was in like
The
10th grade, so
have you guys
Oh,
seen The
oh.
Lobster?
you, the lobster?
Yeah, with Colin Farrell.
Mm-mm,
oh
clarify.
yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so Dylan brought up nosebleeds. So The Lobster, it came out last year. It's about Colin Farrell, and he's living in a world in which if you don't find a mate to marry by a certain time, they turn you into an animal. His animal, he chose to be a lobster. His brother turned into a dog, and he's like trying to just find his mate. So if you're not married by a certain point, they send you to this hotel near the outskirts of civilization, and it's by
Hmm.
the woods. And so what they do is most people, if they can't find a mate in time, they try to run away into the woods to meet up with the loners.
Hmm.
And Colin Farrell is trying to find this someone to be a mate with. And it's pretty funny. It's just about like how
What the
civilizations.
hell?
Someone's trying to use the grapefruit method. Yes, that's a very dated joke.
What the fuck was? Oh my god! Oh sweet Jesus!
Dylan, are you okay?
I am the complete opposite of okay.
What
Okay,
just
so
He just emptied his bowels on the podcast.
I was drinking water, bro. No, listen. You didn't need to give him a full synopsis of the movie, Ryan. You could have just been like,
I didn't.
if you don't
I
fuck a
described-
woman within 30 days, you turn into a lobster.
It's
Let him
45 days.
experience. Same thing. Same thing. Okay, so Cassius, I have a question for you.
Oh, geez.
Yes, sir.
Do you play video games per chance?
I play lots of video games per chance.
Okay, what's your favorite, like, I know it's hard to pick, but like genre of gaming, which is your personal favorite out of all?
Oh, RPG. No, it's easy. It's easy. RPG. I love RPGs.
Well, okay, so
Western
I'm
RPGs
gonna-
to be specific.
Yeah, I'm gonna exclude Ryan from this for a quick second because he talks enough. All right, real fast.
Really?
In an RPG, do
I
you
said,
prefer
like,
your
5 sentences?
just do you prefer your character to be like faceless to where you can create your own, or do you like a really well built character given to you?
Okay, that's tough. If you're going with a game like Skyrim or Fallout, you want a blank slate. But if you're
Yeah.
going into a game that has like a super story-intensive kind of main plot, I like a character that's built a little bit at
Remember
least.
how
Like,
Fallout 4
for example,
didn't-
shut up. I haven't played
didn't
Fallout
have
4.
that?
It's trash.
Just let the
It is
Cassius
trash.
boy talk.
Anyway, like, let me give you two examples. It's like Fallout New Vegas. It's awesome to have a character that has no face. The Witcher. It's really good to have a character that has a lot of history. It's like they both work. It depends how it's done.
Yeah, we talked about that on a previous. I think on our last podcast, we brought up that.
No, I listened to it. I'm a fan.
Oh, really? He's just,
Yeah.
Did you notice I was the one who made Ryan shout you out? I just want to put this on the record.
I did notice that. I appreciate it. Ryan, you're a fucking
Congratulations.
racist. You racist asshole.
Congratulations on being our
Like,
second
okay.
fan.
Cass,
1 out of
have
10.
Yeah, thank
played
you.
the Dragon Age games at all, perchance?
1 second. Inquisition. I played
Yeah,
through
fuck you.
a chunk of it. I got bored with it. I never finished it.
Well, what I was gonna say, Origins, like for me, is that perfect game that while they do give you the backgrounds of each character, there's enough open for you that like.
No, I agree. 100%. Because you're one of the, what is it, Black Guard or whatever it's called?
Yeah, I
Grey
think,
Wardens.
I think Arkham
Grey
Origins
Wardens.
is better than
What?
Dragon Age Inquisition 2.
You think what?
I think Arkham Origins is better than Dragon Age Inquisition as well.
Batman Arkham Origins sucked
It's-
ass.
it's the
Yeah,
worst
it was
one.
bad.
I know.
No, like what you were saying about
It's so.
Origins though. Shut up, Ryan. God damn it. But I agree because you got this character who has this prestige, this position that you're given, but within that position you can wiggle around. It's like, for example, like how big of a fan of the Elder Scrolls series are you, Dylan?
I played Arena on my friend's computer. I played Daggerfell. I played Morrowind. I played Oblivion. I played Skyrim. Yeah, I played all of them.
Okay, so like to me, I would think it's interesting, and this is going to be kind of like long-winded, but imagine
fine.
if you were dropped into an Elder Scroll game and the only thing you knew about your character was that you're like a high-ranking officer in the Imperial Army. It's like you don't know anything other than that. You can role play, say, "Oh, I'm from this area. I'm from this province," but you still have this background that gives you authority to be in the position that you're in. It's like just being a rando coming off of a cart and being told you're Dragonborn and everybody respecting you makes no sense. If it said like, oh, you're a prisoner who got in trouble for doing this specific crime or doing this, and giving you just a little bit of that background to build your character around, it would make a little bit more sense in my opinion. So I like it when games do that kind of half and half, if it's done well.
It's that, and I agree with you on that one. But it's like one of the things is it's really hard to do both. Because,
yeah, no, I agree.
Like with the only game I've ever really seen do both for me honestly is Origins, where they do tell you that like you were an elf. But what I liked about Origins was like how you were right, like how you deal with a blight is up to you. If you're a complete cunt, but you're like efficient, then you're going to be known as a efficient cunt. But if you're the nice guy who like will end up having to sacrifice some of the fighting force for the blight, then you're going to be known as the nice guy who sacrificed stuff. Like there are. In Origins, I'm going to give a quick spoiler. When you go to Arl Eamon's house, the choice is to either kill her son because he's possessed by a demon or kill his mother in a blood sacrifice ritual to kill the demon. Like, there's no happy ending.
Whereas, no, I like it when it's like that, too.
Most games will give you a third option. Like, if you go and find the lucky coin on the gate, you can save both of them. Dragon Age is like, fuck that. You either feel like shit or you feel like a lot of shit.
No, and that's another thing that actually brings up another subject. First of all, I agree with you completely, but I hate games that have these like choices that are like, oh, it's like you can save the day either way if you find this special item, but then the special item is just like barely off the beaten path. You can find it instantly. It's like with like Elder Scrolls Skyrim specifically, all the Daedric artifacts that are supposed to be these awesome weapons you can get in like fucking 5 minutes. That's ridiculous. You should be given the choice to like, oh, you can save the day completely if you go way out of your way and do this difficult quest to find the one specific thing that does save the day, and you could play the entire game without ever coming across it. There needs to be more like actual
Dark Souls.
Yeah. Dark Souls. Hell yeah, Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. Well, like, you were describing Dark Souls.
Well, like like a better example is Bloodborne. To get the proper ending of Bloodborne, you have to find the fucking
No. Shh. Ryan's still playing it. I don't know if he knows yet.
Oh, Ryan, you're still playing
ahead. We can talk.
Spoilers. No. Cass, no.
Well, I'm not gonna say how to find the items or like.
You have to find 3 items to get the true ending, but nothing tells you what to do with those items or what those items are.
Or how to get them. Yeah,
and I agree with you, Cass. Like, that is, like, Dark Souls in general, the Souls series in general, is what's called archaeological storytelling, which basically means you have to dig to find the story.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
Like, most games like the Elder Scrolls, they will tell you, like, you are the Dragonborn. There were Dragonborn before you. But in, like, if Skyrim was a Dark Souls game, you would just fight a dragon, and then from its soul you would learn, Akatosh bestowed upon the humans the Dragonborn, and then that's how you would go, oh, I am the Dragonborn, you know?
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome, especially with people that want to play through Skyrim as not the Dragonborn. It'd be cool if it's just like, you have this ability to... yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, if you beat the first dragon available to you, and they're just like, you absorbed its soul, and they're like, they have no idea how you did that, and you have no idea how I did that, but if you go through the game and read books and kind of get into the lore, you learn that there's this thing called the Dragonborn, and you kind of crack yourself, oh, fuck, I'm the Dragonborn. That would have been a lot more satisfying.
Yeah, I will give Skyrim this justification for it, is that, like, the Dragonborn wasn't, like, some long dead thing. Like, it was a actively talked about tradition. Like, I've always said, if you're going to do something in a game, justify it. And for me, they all talk about the Dragonborn, like, all the time. So when you did that, it only made sense that they all knew what you were.
True. No, yeah, I'll give you that. Oh, one thing I'm going to ask of you two real quick. A subject that...
Ryan involved.
Oh, yeah, Ryan, you care about this. All right, let's discuss. Do you guys have any preferred locations for the next Fallout game?
New Orleans. Oh no, there's a mod for New Vegas, a big one for New Orleans.
I would say probably New Orleans.
No.
You think so?
Australia.
Yeah.
No.
Like if it had more of like a jazzy sort of sound from like the 50s, the 40s and the 50s. I think that.
Yeah. Ryan, do you watch a YouTube channel called Fudge Muppet?
No.
Well, they do. They do Elder Scrolls and Fallout content, and they had a long-ass video about a potential Fallout New Orleans game. Not they weren't saying like, oh, they're gonna make this one. There's this evidence. No, they're saying if they made this game, here's some ways they could make it really good. And they had a lot. Yeah.
Guys, there is a straight up full on mod, like a big expansion for Fallout New Vegas, and it's called that you go to New Orleans. Like this guy put time and effort. Yeah. I feel like New Orleans, it's like New Orleans for me is kind of like what Dragon Age Awakening was, where it's like it's its own. Like Dragon Age Awakening is like what I want in DLC, where it's its own standalone game. It doesn't have everything that the main game has, but like if I was going to get New Orleans, I'd honestly just want a DLC because like what you can't really do much with a new area like New Orleans when it's similar to like the Mojave. Like it's still deserty. It's just you're gonna have jazz. You know, it's
well, New Orleans got the marshes. It's got a lot of water, and it's got a lot of that. The bayou.
What would the bayou look like after the apocalypse? Is what they have
Resident
to think
Evil
about.
7.
Yeah, it kind of would, huh?
Oh God, damn it! No, Ryan.
You could find a tanker and be like, "What's going on over here?"
That would be a great reference. That'd be the greatest reference. Just Ethan dead on the floor, and you're like, "Oh, this guy just barely made it."
Ryan.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. I liked how the first thing you said is like, oh, I want New Orleans, and the only way you described it is as jazzy. I feel like that's quintessential to the Fallout games, is that each different Fallout game should have this own kind of musical theme that really separates it from the others. Like New Vegas, for specific, had all that
it's Western,
a lot of the country Western feel, and that really reinforces. Yeah, it has a lot. It reinforces the feel of the game significantly, and like that's one thing that 4 was missing. Oh God, 4 was just soulless in my opinion in comparison to 3 or New Vegas.
Ryan does not like 4. He's disappointed with 4. He likes I will defend it by this.
4.
If Fallout 4 was not a Fallout game that had to live up to the potential of Fallout New Vegas, it's a pretty good game. But when it's trying to like jump on the wagon that those two games inspired among us, it's like you can't do that. Especially with like they made it too pretty. The reason why New Vegas was so great was because the land was shitty, the people were shitty, everything was shitty because the entire situation was shit. Like that was what the game wanted you to know.
The biggest disappointment in my life ever.
I thought you were your biggest disappointment in your life.
No, I was the biggest disappointment in my parents' lives. It's different.
Oh yeah,
and everybody else's life too.
All my girlfriend's lives.
Well, all two of them.
All two of them.
God damn it, Ryan. I'll give it this. Fallout 4, what it did right was I like the weapon and armor crafting system. I think it nailed that.
Combat was.
Combat was fantastic in comparison to the other games.
Yeah, felt kind of like BioShock. Honestly.
Yeah, BioShock. Well, like, yeah, no, it kind of felt like BioShock because BioShock has this half shooter, half something else feel to it, and Fallout 4 was similar. It got crafting like done. I like the base building aspect. It shouldn't be as forced as it was, but I can see why people enjoy that. So being able to build your own wasteland settlements as well as craft your armor and weapons makes you feel like a real Mad Max motherfucker, and I like that. What it failed miserably on was the removal of the perk system, which is fucking huge.
Oh my god! Someone else agrees with that. Sorry, hold up. Like in New Vegas, if you had enough medicine, you could like get out of several situations because you were a doctor. Like, and then but in New Vegas, Fallout 4 is fucking a 4-wheel system. Sarcastic insult. Be nice.
No, I agree. It's like trying to do a Mass Effect, and it fails at that even. But like the other thing that it fucks up is the story. The story is boring. Nobody gives a shit. Fallout New Vegas' story was amazing. Either way you approached it.
Fallout New Vegas' story, its main story ain't nothing to jump home about. Like it's a cool. It's the characters and all of the factions within that makes it interesting.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's part of the story. That's part of the story.
Well, I liked the railroad. Like the railroad was an interesting. Like each faction in Fallout 4 had an interesting concept. It's just they just were like, we don't want to make.
Yeah, no.
I got so excited when I found out about
Fallout
it.
4.
And they were just nothing.
No, no, I agree. Fallout 4's factions, you're like, oh, that's fucking awesome. You got Brotherhood of Steel, you've got the Underground Railroad, you got Institute and everything. It's like, oh, this is going to be fucking awesome. And then they're disappointing. Fallout New Vegas's factions are like, every time you go to join one of the factions, or a few factions there are, there's only two.
No, there's
You're,
four.
well, like, what else is there?
There,
Well,
okay,
there's the
no,
Brotherhood, and then there's Caesars, and then there's the Rangers,
no,
MCR.
you can join the NCR, you can join Mr. House, you can join the Enclave.
Oh,
you
Mr.
can
House.
join
I
the
forgot about
Brotherhood of
Mr. House.
Or
Steel.
you can do your own thing, like get rid of
Yeah.
Mr. House and everybody else.
Yeah.
Really quick. You know what?
God,
If you
New
read up,
Vegas was the
each
best
ending
thing
of New
ever.
Vegas sucks. Every single ending of New Vegas sucks, no matter how you look at it.
Well, the situation was going to be good no matter what.
Yeah, independent Vegas, they can't hold up on their own against a bunch of raiders and all that. So eventually they're going to crumble. The NCR will just bring bureaucratic bullshit in and it'll just fuck up all the fun. Caesar's Legion is literally promoting slavery. And then Mr. House is a gambling fuck. So, like, no matter what you look at it, the world sucks.
I bet you didn't go with the Legion route, did you?
I always believe
Seeing as y'all
As
ancestry.
I am,
Oh.
always black. I forgot.
I'm racially inclined not to. No, like I've never done Legion
your
route,
name,
but
hold on, your name is Cassius though, so you got
I know.
Roman.
And it's funny because every time I play Elder Scrolls, I always go the Legion route every single time. Because
Join Legion in Elder Scrolls 4.
which one's 4 is
Oblivion. You can't
Oblivion.
join the-
No, you can't. You're right. Which is weird. Which is fucking weird. First of all, it's bizarre. But then again, you're in Cyrodiil, and there's really no Legion activity, so it doesn't matter.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's where the fucking Legion is. What do you mean? There's no Legion activity in
No, there is
home of the Legion.
no in the game itself. No, in the home of the Legion, yes, lore-wise there is. But there in the actual game itself, how many Legion bases did you come across?
2. I can't
Where?
remember 2. The one in the city, and then the one right outside Kvatch.
Yeah, well, the one right outside the Kvatch was because the fucking gate opened, and the one in the city is because they have to put it in there for lore purposes. It wouldn't make any sense to join.
Like, I know, Cass, I agree with you. One of my favorite things about Oblivion is, like, at the end of that story, you're not the true hero.
Oh, no, I love that. I love that to
helped
death.
the hero. Like, your guy wasn't the one who was born into greatness. Like, your guy was a prisoner who rose to greatness. And I was like, that is something I love. I love when games do something differently.
No, that's cool. I like it too. Oblivion, story-wise, was God. If fucking Oblivion was made with the engine and allowed scope that Skyrim was, it would have been great. Because
Yeah, Sky Oblivion. They're making that.
I know. I'm looking forward to it, but it's still a long ways off. I'm just imagine the battle, the battle outside Bruma, where the fucking.
Oh my god! Imagine
Yeah.
hundreds of legionnaires and hundreds of demons just fighting on the field, and
Yeah. That'd be cool. And it's like Oblivion. It's like I think it's so funny. Bethesda was like, okay, we're going on to the next gen. It's going to be our big chance to have a fucking beginning of the gen release to have this huge game that everybody's going to love. This big RPG that's again going to revolutionize everything like Morrowind did. And it's like they nailed the story for that setting, but they didn't realize how little the 360 could still do at that point. And it's like you got this huge open story where you're helping this guy rise to become the emperor and literally turn into a fucking dragon, spoiler, and just you save the world in that game. And you always save the world. Yeah, that's important. But that one, you actually have the feeling like, oh, this is going to save the world. The gates are opening everywhere. And it's like, because it's a 360 game and they can't support that much, they just couldn't support that much action. It doesn't really look like it, but it does feel like it, and that was fantastic.
Hey, Cass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, Ryan. I know you're not. I know, but like, hold on.
That's fine.
Cass.
You guys can talk about the
So
fantasy
Skyrim.
RPGs.
You know what was, in my opinion, my favorite part and the most wasted opportunity of Skyrim?
I don't care about fantasy RPGs.
I don't care about you, Brian. Shut up.
One second. Ryan, what do you have against Elder Scrolls? Because everybody else fucking loves it.
I don't have anything.
Is it because it has no guns?
Brian doesn't like fantasy games. He likes role-playing games.
Fantasy games. I love role-playing games. I don't like fantasy games because I feel like everything that we get from like Western fantasy, it feels too familiar. It feels like Lord of the Rings and different setting or something like
Well,
that.
it's because all the people that are making that are incredibly inspired by stuff like that.
I
I
Like,
know,
will
but
say
it's just I've never
Oblivion
seen
was
something like
heavily inspired by
I liked
oh yeah, no,
Shadowrun.
Oblivion had a
Um,
what? Say that again?
I liked Shadowrun Returns. It's like
Oh, Shadowrun was really fun.
fantasy,
No,
but in
yeah,
the future. It's like cyberpunk
no, yeah.
fantasy.
that game
I've played a chunk of
confused
it.
me.
It confused you.
Yeah, it's a bit. But one second, like Ryan, a good example of what you just said, how it feels inspired by like Lord of the Rings. It's funny. You can take a direct picture from Whiterun from Skyrim and compare it to Now I'm forgetting the name of it in Lord of the Rings. The city that had all the Roland or Rohan, right?
It's been
The
like 10
hilltops.
years since I've seen Lord of the
Well,
Rings.
you know the one where they go and the king is being like
Yeah,
being manipulated by the worm
yeah,
dude.
I know. The super cool looking giant castle.
Yeah, on the hill. Like
Yeah.
there's a city in Skyrim, Whiterun, like the first city that you really go to. It looks identical to that city.
Remember when the king just like ran off of the cliff and just fell down while he was on fire?
That's that was
Same.
Gondor. And he wasn't the king, he was the like counselor
Uh,
in action. Yeah.
Okay,
He wasn't really the
there's
king.
so
Cass, I need to
Yeah.
ask you this.
Mhm.
Okay, do you know, like, my favorite part of Skyrim and the most wasted opportunity ever? Can you guess what it is in Skyrim?
Okay, one second. Let me think about this.
All right.
Based on what I liked, is it the first or just fighting dragons? Is it just fighting dragons in general?
No, I like that one because, like, at first you have to, like, use tactic, but then later on you get the shout that lets you bring him down so you can do it. No, the Civil War in Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
Hold up, I gotta tell you.
Uh,
Listen, I always thought like you could literally make an entire like what you should have done, what they should have
the
done
game should have been about that.
is like they should have teased at it. You know, had Imperial bases, had Stormcloak bases, they teased at it. That should have been its own expansion pack. Like
Oh, I agree.
Skyrim will get thrown into ruin, and like you have to pick a side. Like what I hate is like wouldn't it be cool if like Rayloff and Hadvar at the beginning of the game were fighting, right? And you had to end up choosing which one you had to help. So if you chose to help Hadvar by killing Rayloff, that was like your first act as an Imperial soldier was killing Rayloff. Or
Yeah.
you kill Hadvar. It added consequence. Or better yet, don't do that. Keep them alive and make them like a final boss of the DLC. You know.
Oh yeah.
Make-
Oh, you know,
make-
like going off your idea of having it in the original game, like let's say it is a complete DLC side thing that happens after the events of
Yeah.
Elder Scroll Fives. Basically, in the beginning, when you get saved, like you choose one, and it's all fine and dandy, and you don't think much of it. And then, like throughout the game, you do have like in the actual main game, you have a choice. You can like, oh, I could go with the Imperial side or the Stormcloak side, but that's not shown as you joining either of those. It's like, oh, I can approach the dragon problem through the Blades, the Imperials, or I can approach the dragon problem through the Greybeards, which is more Nordic Skyrim like.
Ooh, yeah, okay,
Base.
I like that.
And then basically that could be base game. And then if they come up with the DLC, despite which one you go with, although you're probably as a person you're probably going to be more inclined to go with your original choice, then like you said, it gets thrown into like you said the huge game
War,
map
like-
changing war. And then like you said, if the character from the beginning, you can see them like let's say if you don't choose Rayloff, you can see him by going to battles as like going up in the ranks and becoming a commander and becoming a final boss is like somebody who rose to Leggett like you did in the base game.
Yeah, here's what really fast. I need to say this. Okay, so have you ever played Demon Souls real fast?
No, I've seen content of it though. I know how
So,
similar it is to.
What I would have loved is if, like, let's say if like you were a Stormcloak, the final boss is Tullius, but you have to fight Hadvar first, and Hadvar is this armored up Leggett with a shield and a sword. He's a tough ass boss, and all Tullius does is sit there so you can kill him. And with Rayloff is wielding like two axes, and he's like wailing at you. And Ulfric just sits on his throne and just looks at you because Ulfric and Tullius know when to quit because they know it's a lost cause. Rayloff and Hadvar are like dedicated to a fault. They're like I love when final bosses of games are like lore implications. Like you see a defeated Ulfric who lost the war, and you're just like, any last words? And he's just like, let the Dragonborn do it. And then you cut his fucking head off. But, like, imagine if you had to like, go ahead.
It's as much as it's fun to speculate about this kind of stuff. It's a shoulda, woulda, coulda. And Skyrim, it's a fun game. The most fun comes from exploring. The story is poopy. Everybody knows that. What I'm hoping.
It looks like a poop from a butt.
Yeah, like a poop from a butt. What I'm hoping they focus on next game, because the scope and size of Skyrim was fine. It was a huge map, lots of content there. What they need to work on is story, adding a lot of content from the beginning when it comes to armors and weapons, different weapon types specifically. They need to bring back spears. They need to do crossbows. Need to be base game. I swear to fucking God. And also, they need to work on the story, make it a lot more elaborate, something you care about, and they need to work on the cities. When you go to Solitude, which is supposed to be the capital of Skyrim, and there's like 35 people tops, you're like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. It'd be cool if there's like a way to make a city so immersive and so big and huge that you can spend like 2 or 3 hours, or like even more than that, like 6 hours, just doing quests around the city.
I will give you this. You know what game does that? Assassin's Creed. The Assassin's Creed series gives you these really big, but Assassin's Creed games are nowhere near as big or as elaborate as an Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, no, I agree. And what I want is that, like, it's because Elder Scrolls is like, you're like, that's the problem for them, is that they have all this lore laid out before them. Like in other games, you could have read about Solitude, the capital city of Skyrim that's bustling, a huge trade port. And then they make Skyrim, and then they're like, oh, well, shit, we've promised this huge city that's awesome, but we can't do that because that would crash the game.
Yeah, so we're getting this shit.
Yeah, it's like funny how like Skyrim, in the game of Skyrim, the actual map is bigger than the map from Oblivion, Cyrodiil. But if you look at the actual map of the world of Tamriel, Cyrodiil is significantly larger than Skyrim. And it's just funny. I feel
like that was just a tragedy of like making the game. Like if they had made Skyrim first and then Oblivion, I feel like it would have been more lore friendly. But like at the time, that's just a tragedy of timing. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying, is that like the problem is they face is that they have the lore set out before them, because all the lore is basically written, and well, not all of it, but all the current lore.
Yeah,
and
like go.
It causes issues. But imagine a game like if the next Elder Scrolls game came out and it was the size of Skyrim, you wouldn't be disappointed because that's still huge. But instead, it was the size of Skyrim. But instead of the same shitty story you had something that's actually engaging and interesting. You had more than like 12 armor sets to choose from base game. You had a bunch of different weapon types that actually significantly change how you play the game. And you go into the capital city of Skyrim, and there's like 200 people there rather than 40. And there's lots of different buildings and interesting quests just within the city. I feel like that's how they should approach the next game, rather than just make it bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, oh, that's just wasted data space.
I'm gonna say this about Skyrim base game that pisses me off. Why is it that the Stormcloaks and the Imperial's questline is the exact same, like doing the exact same things, robbing a wagon, or like getting blackmail from these people? Like, why do they both do the exact same thing? Wouldn't it be cooler if the Stormcloaks had to do a more guerrilla tactics because they're like not as well armored and prepared? Like they were the ones who had to sneak into cities and get blackmail, whereas the Imperials were the ones who had to like storm the forts because they were more heavily fortified. You know, wouldn't that have been better?
That would have been a slight change they could have done that would have made it better. I agree. The problem is that the Civil War questline was actually, and I've read this and I've done a little bit of research on it because Elder Scrolls, I don't know, the viewers at home, I don't know if you can notice this, but I care a lot about
all 10 of them.
Yeah, all 11 of you. I care a lot about Elder Scrolls, but
borderlining on creepy.
Yeah, no, I spend times on the wiki reading and just reading. But anyway,
there's a YouTube channel I'll recommend to you that he does a great videos on like the lore, and like even if you know it, it's fun to hear him talk about it because he gives like interesting ideas.
What's it called?
I'll look it up real fast.
I might already know, is why I'm asking. But anyway,
I don't remember.
The Civil War questline was actually implemented a little bit later, and a lot of the shit had to be cut from it. So that's why it seems so lackluster. Is because they actually did chop it up quite a bit because they just couldn't finish it. The game was already too big. That's why the original Skyrim has so many data issues where it just run out of allocated data and just crash because the game was too big for the game they were making. I'm hoping the next time around that's not a problem because, you know, next gen and, oh my god, PC gaming and shit like that.
Like, okay, the one thing I hate is, like, why is there people who can sit in their basement in their underwear who can make better quest lines than high-paid people at video game studios?
That's true. No, I agree. Like, Enderolf is an example of the mod for Skyrim that makes...
No, nothing. I'm playing that. Do not. If you tell me anything,
I can't tell you anything because I've never played it. My computer's not good enough.
Okay, I'm about to say, my brother let me use his computer, and his is barely good enough. I would have stabbed Ryan. I mean,
Oh, if Ryan's the one at risk, then I'll just spoil it completely. No, the
is he even
game,
here?
story wise. Ryan, hello.
What? I'm listening
There
again.
you
I
go.
don't have anything to say. Like I said, I don't care about fantasy RPGs.
I think
I
this is
feel
a good
bad saying
episode
that.
because, like, I
Because
am
I'm not
leaving in
saying
a bit,
anything.
so me and Cass can get to know each other a bit better. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really glad that he's liking video games. Like, that was something I didn't,
Well,
Ryan didn't tell
No,
me anything about you, Cass. So, like, I was going in
Cass and
expecting
I
either a
have
really cool dude or a
our
really pretentious prick.
own video
Ri-
games that we love to talk about and stuff. So
yeah, Ryan and I have been friends for
since since
literal ever.
since Cass was literally born,
Yeah, our our
not
our
even
moms
kidding.
went to school together, so we have a lot
Fucking
of the
gay? What are you,
of
fucking
similar
gay?
interests. Yeah, we're totally gay for each other. Hey Debs, watch out, girl.
Well,
She
Debs?
watches this, right?
Debs?
of course
Who
she
the
does.
fuck is
She's our only
Debs?
viewer. You and Deb are our only viewers.
We've
Okay.
had 47 views, bro.
Yeah,
I
we
sent this
did
to my
have like
mom. My
47
mom watches this.
views on
I
the
oh
first
I
episode.
I sent this to my mom.
The first episode has like 30 more views than the second.
Yeah.
Oh,
Moved
well,
on
it's
to the
it's
first
it's
Everyone
episode.
dropped off. They were like, "No thanks. We
it,
don't want. We don't
it's it's
want
been
anymore."
on a little bit longer. Just like that's why. Hey, when it comes to this YouTube shit, most of the time you start chugging out videos and you don't get anywhere until like your 30th video or even farther. So why not just make it? It's fun. Not to mention it
I'm
gives
gonna
you
tell you
a
right
way to
now,
stick around and talk.
knowing my luck, when I get back from boot camp, this podcast is gonna kick off and they're gonna completely forget about me, and I'll come back and they'll be like, "Who the fuck is this fat faggot? What's he
We'll,
doing here?"
we'll have you on and we're like, oh, welcome our first guest, Dylan, and you're like, I made this.
I
I
helped
helped
with this.
start it.
Yeah.
No, if it's going well for you guys, I ain't gonna do nothing.
Well, you're gonna be back on.
Well, fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
You
big-
try to keep me
yeah,
away
big
from my baby,
dingus.
I will cut Ryan's
You'll
throat.
be like Steve Jobs in the late '90s after he was like, "I'm done with Pixar. Time to go back to Apple."
Hey,
And he'd be like, "Guys,
how you guys doing?
I got the iPod. You guys are going under. Check this out."
Check this. Check this shit. No, I could talk about Elder Scrolls all fucking day. I've got so many ideas, so many opinions based off of it. But probably shouldn't because Ryan doesn't know anything about it, and he's one of the founding members. So I feel like he should probably be in on the conversation.
Well, I'm also a founding member, and I like talking about it. So fuck Ryan, and you can talk about it whenever you want, Cass.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very sweet of you, Dylan. I'm feeling quite welcomed.
I was the one who recommended your shout out. I think, bro. You know who's got your back.
I'm the one that
Yeah, Ryan.
decided
What
to
the
have
fuck?
Cass-
What's going on here, pal?
Hey, I was gonna shout you out at the end of the episode.
Sure you were.
After I was like, no, you can go back to that podcast and you can hear
I
me
gotta shout
specifically
someone
say.
else out now too, because someone in the second video in the comments.
Who?
is-
Tell me
is
who.
Skylar.
Oh wait. What time is it? How long have we been
It was-
doing this
it was
shit?
Shular.
We need to go.
We've
We
been
need
doing
to
this
go.
for 43. We can go
Shut-
extra this episode. I have like plenty of.
Well, yeah, it's a farewell to Dylan episode.
No, what? Fuck you. I go in
Yeah.
2 weeks. You ain't
Ah,
getting rid of me.
no. Well, dear viewers, it's time to say our goodbyes to Dylan. We're gonna miss him. He's been such a lovable scamp, and we hope that he doesn't crack his head open while he's dicking around in the jungles.
What do you think I'm doing?
I don't fucking know. I don't know you. I just met you.
gotta be
I'm
Big
joining
Boss
the army.
from Snake.
Yeah, I
Eater.
know. I knew that.
Ryan, why'd you tell him this? This was a secret.
This
How is
is
it
a secret.
No, I'm kidding. I will say this though, that honestly,
It's gonna
this
be-
has been probably okay. So the last 2 episodes was just kind of like bullshit talking. This is probably the most like the fastest episode ever. Like our first episode, Ryan straight up left for like a couple minutes to go get nipped, and I had to tell a damn story about a stripper.
I remember. I remember that.
That is a completely true story.
I believe you. I didn't.
was
I didn't.
reading from
I
my
didn't think you were
Halo Cron.
lying
Actually,
to the internet.
I have my Halo Cron right here.
No.
I also have my Communist Manifesto.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of
And that's-
communism, Russia. You know what game takes place in Russia?
Metro.
We need to talk about Metro.
Metro
I
Boomin wants some moan, nigga.
I sorry, Dylan.
What?
I told Ryan that I'm gonna be splurging about Metro a bit because I just played through the first
Yeah.
Metro and I'm currently playing through the second one. And oh my god,
Nothing
that's
you
how
does
first person
matter.
shoot. Yeah, but that's how first person shooters should. Not that specific statement. Nothing do matters. But the way that
Yeah.
Metro is
No,
designed
nothing
is how
matters in
first.
life.
No, I agree. Very nihilistic.
Are you upset because you
But
can't talk about Metro? Because you only played for like 10 minutes and you returned it?
Because it was boring as fuck.
oh no, it's so fucking fun. Oh my god, the gunfights are so fucking fun. Um, there's so much
Forge or
verticality.
GTFO?
Uh,
What did you say?
uh,
What?
What did you say?
Nothing.
hmm.
Alright, let's talk about Metro.
Metro. The first thing I gotta say about Metro is that despite even if you don't like the story, even if you don't like the characters, which I can't see how you wouldn't like the fantastic story. The gameplay is solid. It's 100% solid. This is how a shooter should be with these. Instead of having these kill box that you just hide behind cover for a little bit and then pop up and shoot, it should have this kind of sprawling maze-like labyrinthian
Yeah,
feel to it, so you can actually use all your different abilities.
there are
Right?
constant moments of, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then also, oh fuck yeah, I'm so fucking awesome. When
No, I agree.
you're like, oh god. I remember I went into a boss fight in Last Light, and
No spoilers.
all I had was fire grenades,
hmm
throwing knives, and about 30 bullets. And I came
Oh
out of
god.
it, and I was like, how did I get past this battle?
Oh fuck. No, let me paint you a picture, Ryan.
Oh,
So near the beginning where you're escaping from that one place from the one peoples that really liked Hitler,
mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, same.
yeah, well, okay. Um, I was sneaking through, and basically I was going around corners every time I ran into a dude. I'd bust out the light. That's one thing about Metro that's really cool. You have to actually shoot out lights. You cannot be in light or you'll get killed. You have to be sneaky instead of
Like
just
Splinter Cell.
like Splinter Cell.
Kinda, yeah. But you can like, you can go over to them. You
Not as
can
detailed as
unscrew
Splinter Cell.
them. You can blow them out if they're like,
And if
little.
you shoot them out, people notice.
Yeah.
If you turn out the lights, people will come and check it out. They're like, "Hey, what the fuck?" But I was going through, taking out lights, taking out gentlemen, and I was near the very, very end. There was about three dudes, and there was two sitting next to each other in this lit up area, and they just weren't going anywhere. They're just sitting there. So I was like, "Fuck, how do I approach this?" They're directly in my path to travel. I could go this other way, but that's a lot. That's a lot of work. So what I do is I'm thinking of split second decision. I start walking towards them, and press C so that I throw a knife into one of them, and as soon as it hits him, his buddy turns and goes like, "What the hell?" And I get close enough to actually choke him out. And there's moments like that that make you feel like a total badass when you can execute these kills side by side. But as soon as that happened, there was another guy around the corner. I got caught, and what I had to fucking do is I had to real quick pull out my the pressurized gun. I love the air
Oh,
gun.
yeah, yeah.
It's awesome. And I have to get off. I got off two quick headshots to kill two dudes coming in, and then one last guy. I tossed a grenade down the hallway, and it blew him and his friends away as I was going out the exit door. And it like you said, right? It makes you feel like such a badass, but it's so easy to die too. So it's super justified.
Are you playing on Ranger Hardcore?
No, I'm not playing
Oh
Ranger
god.
Hardcore.
Okay, so
I'm play through the game a second
I
time.
have this weird problem with games when I can't play games on the easiest difficulty. I put it on the hardest and I beat them like first try. I don't know why. So this
Ryan,
happened to
stop
me.
stroking your cock.
It's not because
No,
he's good. He
it's
dies a
weird.
shit ton getting there.
I okay, so what usually happens is I try on easy and I'm actually trying. I'm like, no, I died. Or I try on normal. I'm like, oh god, I died a bunch. And then I try on the hardest difficulty and I'm like, I don't care. I'm doing this because it's dumb and I think it's funny. And then like I'll get through it somehow because I just don't care. Like the
Yeah.
last, I remember my friend and I were trying to beat Halo 3. We were trying to beat the last level of Halo 3 and we couldn't get through all the flood at
Best
the
game
beginning.
ever.
And like, why
hmm
can't we get through the flood? So we're like, you know what? Let's just put it on the legendary difficulty and try to get through. And then somehow, totally
Well,
got through first try.
it's because you spend a lot of time when you're in legendary. When things go wrong, you spend a lot of time just fucking running, and that's a
We
problem
were
with
running though. We were just like, we got some gravity hammers and we were just bashing our way through the. That game is great.
oh
Picking up gravity
god.
hammers and just Dustin
Not
3
having
FUD is the
not
best.
having gravity hammers in Halo 4 is what made it a bad game.
Yeah.
No, a lot of
I
things made Halo 4 a bad game.
Yeah, but not having gravity hammers was the number
I
one
like,
reason.
oh my god, you
Yeah.
remember, Cass, when we played Halo 4 on Legendary, and we
Yeah,
were like, oh my god,
and it took
we're
us
gonna get
2
the
days.
Legendary.
It took us 2 fucking full
We're
days.
gonna get the Legendary, especially because we had that glitch where we got stuck on top of that one level because of the
Oh, we
Banshees.
no. Remember when we were in the kill box with the fucking the elephant, and the
Oh,
elephant
God.
just wouldn't go. It just wouldn't move.
And we kept blowing up.
To those at home, the elephant's a vehicle. It's not an actual elephant. Let me just clarify.
This vehicle doesn't need to be as big as it was. We
Oh,
got through
God.
the entire Legendary game. We got through the game entirely on Legendary, and we were like, "Oh man, we're gonna get the Legendary ending," but nope.
Yeah.
It's so
Was it because it was
disappointing.
multiplayer? We never figured out why,
I
right?
think it was because I played the first level on Legendary, and then we started co-op Legendary on the second level.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing, though.
It was, yeah. I tried playing through the game by myself in Legendary, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I got bored. I think I started playing another game. That's the problem with me is I'll start games and I never finish them.
Same. That's why I have
Oh,
almost
oh
200
my God!
games on Steam.
Someone who listens to this can relate, and they need to know to beat a fucking game. You know who you are. I
Is
ain't
it
gonna
me?
say your name, but you know who you are.
Is it Ryan?
No, it's not Ryan.
I have like 200 games on Steam, and I think I've beaten like 30.
Okay,
Nah.
time out, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be serious right now.
Okay.
Okay. What?
Okay,
Serious about what?
I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, that's...
Back to Metro.
Yeah, back to Metro.
Ladies and
So-
gentlemen, this is the most professional podcast you'll hear on YouTube.
No,
first time I
we
played
do
through
enough
Metro-
self-deprecating. If we do too much of it, we'll be
First time I
considered.
played through Metro, I tried it on normal. And do you
Yeah.
remember the part with the orbs at the end?
Yeah,
So
the
for
amiibos.
some reason, I kept dying, and then whenever I wasn't dying, the other guy was dying. And then I restarted the entire game on Ranger Hardcore, the hardest difficulty. You don't even have a
Yeah.
HUD at all.
Hey,
And
I
then-
remember my question, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
At what point does a spoon become a shovel?
Uh,
It was as big as my forearm.
no, there's a midway point because there's also ladles.
That's the thing you like scoop soup with or try to beat Dark Souls 2 with.
Yeah, and they're giant spoons basically.
Ah, okay.
So there's a midway point. So that question is a bit moot. But I see where you're going.
It depends on how it's shaped, I guess.
It depends how it's used. If you're using a spoon to dig a tunnel, then you're using a really small shovel. But if you're using a shovel
Like
to eat
in
your cereal,
stuffing
then you're
against
using a really big spoon.
Hey, wait. Oh, here's another question in a similar tone. How long after someone dies does grave robbing become archaeology?
Uh,
I say 3 generations.
I'd say 100 years.
I wouldn't even say that. I'd say 50 years.
So I could go
Yeah,
dig up
50,
your
I guess.
grandfather's grave right now.
Well, not my grandpa because my grandpa's still
He's only
alive.
been
But
dead
I'm
for a
saying,
month.
Not for what?
Oh.
I'm just saying, it depends where you are. If you're in like a cemetery digging up people, then no. But if it's like a burnt down building and the remains of it, and you're checking it out, then it's modern archaeology. Grave robbing is grave robbing, but that's only if you're robbing it from an actual grave. If somebody just died in a building and you find their shit, that's not grave robbing.
Hey, Cass.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be awesome if your fetish was fully clothed women?
No, I agree. That'd be that'd be really useful.
Okay,
How do
here's
you know
another
it's
one.
not, buddy?
The object of golf is to play the least amount of golf.
Yeah, it's because it fucking sucks.
Professional runners run all the time just so they can run less.
Can we get back to
What do you-
Metro?
I agree. These are kind of profound statements, Ryan.
Fishing would be less popular if the fish could scream.
Where does I imagine he just has like a list at home that he's just reading this shit off of.
Nah, it's written in semen on my wall.
Donald Trump would be more popular if this was Germany in the 30s.
Fire trucks, more like water trucks.
Oh,
Wow, I think he just turned into Ethan from H3H3.
I hate when I know. Compared to koalas, we're all crippling insomniacs.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
So
Working
Since-
from home is great unless you're a
Okay.
firefighter.
I let you talk for like 30 fucking minutes.
You're right.
Can
That
I
was
talk
all
for
right. Go
like
ahead.
20
Go ahead. Go
minutes,
ahead. Go ahead.
please?
yeah. Well, Metro. I like the game a lot. It's solid.
It
It's
lets-
just got yeah.
It lets you approach combat the way you want to, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, like any FPS game, you only have two options, which is stealth or guns blazing. But those two options are distinctly different enough that it does make a huge difference on how you play the game.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of games, it's like there's not that much of a difference between like stealth and guns blazing, but in this one, there's a huge difference because when you get into these kill boxes, there's not just one or two enemies. There's like 12.
And then you're like usually by yourself.
Yeah. Oh, you're almost always by yourself because like when you have somebody else, they're usually just guiding you through an area rather than you stopping and fighting.
Yeah.
Although that prison break from the beginning was fucking fun. That was so
Yeah.
fun.
That,
I liked Pavel a lot until, well, you know.
yeah, I know. I still liked
Like-
him at that point. You could tell he didn't want to have that happen. What happened?
I don't like communism, people. Spoiler alert. I think it's dumb.
The two like main bad guys are communists and Nazis.
And yeah, well, it's funny too. I fucking love the political dynamic of the game too.
Yeah.
It's not trying to make any points, mind you. Like it's not trying to spread a political message. It's just it makes sense that in a destitute world underground where people are basically trying to fight for their survival every single minute, the two main political groups that would be popular are these
Are you fapping?
absolutism groups. I think he's clapping for me.
Oh,
Yeah, clapping. Think that.
I thought
Yeah.
he was fapping.
I'm just saying, in a situation where the world was so fucked, all government systems would always be dictatorships, basically.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
The invention of the shovel must have been groundbreaking.
I think we should just cut it here, Ryan.
Do we
I
have
think- I
anything
think
else to talk about though?
I could talk for hours.
Yeah.
Well, okay. This is our first hour-long special, so we should go for the hour mark, or be huge cunts and go at 59:59, then just cut it off.
I think let's go for an hour. Let's be jovial friends. Let's have
Yeah.
fun.
Okay, so I found out yesterday I have hemorrhoids in my butt.
That's not what
Where else would
I'm-
they be?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh,
That's
Hemorrhoids
started-
in the
I started
butt, more
replaying
like
Resident Evil 7
asteroids. Get it?
with my family.
Asteroids.
as an
You start playing
audience.
Resi
Thank
7
God no
with your
one
family
heard
as an audience.
Yeah. So they all tapped out at different points.
Really?
So I played about, I think, an hour before my
Yeah.
mom tapped out. I
Really?
played about 3.5 hours until my sister tapped out. And I played
couldn't
about
handle it.
4.5 hours until my 4-year-old brother tapped out. And he only tapped out because he fell asleep.
He literally tapped out.
He got really into
But
the
I'm.
game.
Well, Nick.
Nick's the best.
Cool. Well, the thing about Knack is that you've raised him literally around video games so that he can.
Hey, guys.
What?
Smoking cigarettes is a great way to commit suicide if you're a procrastinator.
So Nick is
Spilling
my
coffee
favorite-
on yourself would make you up much faster than drinking it would.
Continue, Ryan.
Alright, so Nick is my 4-year-old little brother. He's like my best friend. We play video games together all the time. He's watched me play some games he probably shouldn't have, like Saints Row 4,
Like, or Outlast.
Outlast. He played the Resident Evil 7 demo with me when it first came out, and so he's been waiting. He doesn't call Resident Evil 7, he calls it Welcome to the Family, son. 'Cause that's what the dude said
God.
in the original
Yeah.
demo.
Yeah.
So that's what
Well, he
always
says it in
calls
the main game too.
Yeah, I know, but Like that's why Nick calls it that. Nick has played tons. He's played Wolfenstein: The New Order with me.
That's great.
He's played
Well, it's
so many games with me. That he
it's
probably-
it's funny if you ask any sort of like concerned parent type that doesn't know anything about video games, they go like, "Oh, it's because you're making him violent," but it's actually because you're desensitizing him to this. He can differentiate between what's real and what's a game. He's like, "Oh, hurting people and killing people.
Questions I've
It's
actually
just a
asked my
game."
brother. Hey, do you want to kill Nazis on the moon with me?
No,
I've
on a
asked
more
him-
serious tone though, Ryan. It's good to do
No,
this.
no,
In
no,
no,
no, serious. No, fuck you. This is not a serious podcast.
Hey, Dylan, it's been an hour. But
Okay.
like, I'm just saying, we didn't do the 59-59 thing, and I'm sorry, buddy.
I quit a long time ago on ever achieving my hopes and dreams.
Well, okay.
I'm joining
okay.
the army for
What
God's
games
sakes.
came out last year? 'Cause I don't remember
What?
playing a lot of games that came. I think I played 3
Mass
games.
Effect Fallout 4 came out last year.
No,
Elder
it
Scrolls
didn't.
Online
In
came out last
2015.
year.
Witcher 3 last year, right?
Yeah,
Did it?
last year was 2016.
Wait, no, yeah,
I didn't
wait.
play many games that came out last
Fuck.
year. I think I played.
Because not a same amount of good games came out last year.
I played. What did I play? I'm trying to like really think about this. I played Battlefield 1,
Guys, I broke my cross.
Call of Duty. the new
Well, that's
one.
a bad omen.
Is it really?
You're not supposed to break religious symbols in general.
So it's like the devil gonna rape me in the butt?
That's
Well, I mean, where
exactly
else
what's
is he gonna rape you,
happen.
Dylan?
In the mouth?
Well, I've read that the devil has like a tri-pronged dick, so I'm sure he'll get to both holes
Read
eventually.
that.
Finger shoved in my butt. You can fight
Oh,
me.
Jesus.
Anyway, this is just devolved into absolute shit.
That's what happens.
Welcome
at
to the end of each podcast.
Welcome to the family, son.
Yeah. Welcome
And
to
then
the
I just like
family,
sneak up behind
Cass.
Cass and just hit him upside the head with a computer.
Welcome
God.
to the shits, Cass.
Just cut it. Just cut it. If this
Cut
was
it
a
now,
studio,
Ryan. Cut it now.
I'm cutting
I'd
it.
be making this. Cut
Cut
it.
it now.
I